Hello and welcome back to What's Hot in the Bookstore with me, Megan Riley.
And me, Rain Brooks.
Today we're looking at a book that, honestly, feels like it's always been there on the shelves, charming everyone. It's I Love You to the Moon and Back.
Yeah, it really is one of those titles. It seems so simple, maybe even a bit unassuming at first glance.
Right, but it's become this kind of shortcut to pure, heartfelt emotion. You see it everywhere.
Absolutely. And what makes it so captivating, it's not some intricate plot or wild adventure. It's that core message, isn't it?
Totally. That incredibly tender declaration between, well, in this case, a parent bear and their cub.
Hmm.
That special bond.
Mm-hmm. So our mission today, for you listening, is to really unpack why. Why has this particular picture book achieved such massive, sustained success?
We want to figure out why it's become such a go-to gift, basically.
Exactly. We're going to translate its warmth, its huge appeal, into some actionable knowledge. If you're looking for that next essential children's title, you'll understand why this one consistently hits the mark.
Okay, so let's start right at the heart of it. The content, the emotional resonance, like you said, no big complex plot.
Nope.
It basically follows these two characters, the bear and the cub, through a pretty normal day. They're just out in nature together.
And that's the key, isn't it? The everydayness. The book deliberately prioritizes atmosphere over action.
Ah, okay. Say more about that.
Well, the focus isn't on them achieving some grand goal or overcoming an obstacle. It's about the feeling of being together, playing, resting, just noticing little things around them.
Like watching a butterfly or splashing in the water. Those small moments.
Precisely. It's about conveying security, closeness, that feeling of unconditional love. The narrative arc, if you can even call it that, is just the shared experience itself.
There's a German word you mentioned earlier that seems to capture this perfectly: Geborgenheit.
Yes, Geborgenheit. It's such a powerful concept and kind of tricky to translate directly into English. It's more than just security or coziness.
Right, it's deeper.
It's that profound feeling of being completely safe, sheltered, protected, cherished, often through physical closeness and just knowing you belong.
And the book creates that feeling.
Absolutely.
Okay.
It doesn't just tell you about love. The words and the pictures work together to wrap you in this environment that feels like a safe, warm hug.
Yeah.
That feeling of unconditional, enveloping love is really the engine driving the whole experience.
That makes so much sense, especially for the target audience, little kids, 0 to 5. That emotional security is just fundamental for them.
Totally fundamental. And using animals, the bear and cub, instead of humans, actually helps with that, I think.
How so? Does it make it more universal?
Yeah, I think it strips away specific cultural baggage or complex human dynamics. It boils a relationship down to that essential, almost primal bond of protection and nurturing you see everywhere in nature.
So it's just pure affection.
Yeah.
Natural. Innate.
Exactly. It makes the message instantly relatable. Doesn't matter where you're from. And that simplicity, that consistency, it's like an anchor for a little kid who's still figuring out the world. The shared journey is the adventure.
Let's talk about the language Amelia Hepworth uses. You notice straight away the rhymes are very simple. Deliberately so, it feels like.
Oh, absolutely deliberate. It's not trying to be complex poetry. It's about rhythmic stability.
Rhythmic engineering, you called it earlier, aimed right at toddlers and preschoolers.
Yeah, because those simple, repetitive rhythmic patterns aren't just easy to listen to. They create this immediate sense of familiarity. It's almost physical.
Physical. How do you mean?
Well, some research suggests these kinds of simple metric structures can subtly mimic comforting biological rhythms, like, a heartbeat or steady breathing.
Wow, okay. So reading the book can actually feel calming on a physiological level.
Potentially, yes. It turns the reading moment into this kind of confirmation of safety and predictability.
And that predictability helps kids join in, right?
Exactly. They start anticipating the phrases. They can say the words along with you. It becomes less about passively listening and more of an active shared ritual.
Right.
And that really reinforces the closeness, the Geborgenheit.
That's fascinating. But it works for the adults too, doesn't it? Even though the text is simple, the scenes often reflect those little moments parents cherish.
Oh, definitely. It's like a mirror for the parent reading it. You see the bear and cub marveling at a bug or snuggling down to sleep, and it reflects your own experiences.
Those moments you wish you could just bottle up.
Right. It taps into that parental nostalgia, that awareness of how fleeting these early years are. And it gives the parent simple, powerful words for feelings that can be overwhelming.
Like the title phrase itself, I love you to the moon and back.
It's perfect, isn't it? It's vast, impossible, infinite, A great way to try and capture that feeling of fierce, unconditional love.
So let's nail down the target audience more practically. We said 0 to 5 years.
Yeah, that's the sweet spot. From infants, just listening to the rhythm of your voice right up through preschool. But interestingly, it's also really effective for older siblings.
Oh, how so?
Well, if there's a new baby, for instance, reading this book together can be a simple way to communicate that core message of love and closeness to the older child too, reassuring them of their place.
That's a great point. And the practicality factor is huge for parents, too.
Definitely. The text is so straightforward, you don't need to explain complex plots or characters.
Which makes it perfect for those quick bedtime reads when you're exhausted or you only have 5 minutes.
Right, you can deliver this really potent dose of affection and connection quickly and reliably. It becomes part of the routine, the ritual.
Okay, but if the text is so simple, how does it avoid feeling, well, a bit generic or even cliche over time? Does the weight shift to the illustrations then?
I think it has to, yeah. The visuals do a lot of the heavy lifting in creating that specific atmosphere. Which brings us to the illustrator, Tim Warnes. His work is just brilliant.
Agreed. If Hepworth provides the sort of verbal heartbeat, Warnes creates the visual world. People often describe his illustrations as feeling like a soft hug.
That's a perfect description. And it's not accidental. You can see deliberate choices in his color palette, the textures he uses, the composition.
Lots of warm pastels, right? Soft greens, blues, yellows.
Exactly. And subtle textures that give it depth but keep it gentle. It's basically applied color psychology. Warm, muted tones tend to be calming.
Which is crucial for a book so often used at bedtime.
Absolutely crucial. You're trying to wind a child down, not hype them up. Sharp, bright colors or high contrast can be stimulating. Warren's style is like a visual sedative.
It guides everyone towards relaxation, like a visual lullaby.
Well put. It reinforces the book's function not just as a story, but as part of a calming ritual.
But it's not so simple that it gets boring after a few reads, is it? Because kids notoriously want the same book over and over again.
No, and that's where his skill really shines. He strikes this amazing balance. The main characters, the bear and cub, are very clear, easy for even the youngest child to grasp. Their emotions are readable.
But there's more going on.
Yes. Look closely at the backgrounds. There are little details, a specific type of leaf, a tiny insect, a textured patch of fur on the bears.
Ah, so there are little things to discover on the 20th or 100th reading.
Exactly. That keeps it engaging over time for both the child and the parent. It allows the book to grow with the child a little bit, turning it from just a read aloud into something you can explore together for years.
His overall style feels very accessible, soft, friendly, not that sort of sharp, maybe overly polished digital look you sometimes see now.
Right. It feels organic. And crucially, he manages to put so much emotion onto the bears' faces. You see the tenderness, the joy, the contentment, but without making them look like humans in bear suits.
They still feel like bears.
Yes. And that authenticity, I think, is key to the universal appeal. It makes the love feel natural, innate, not just a learned human behavior. It grounds the story.
Which helps it connect across different cultures. Makes sense.
It really does.
Okay, so we have these two creators, Amelia Hepworth and Tim Warnes, working in perfect sync. Let's talk a bit more about them as individuals.
Sure. Amelia Hepworth, the author, she keeps a relatively low public profile, actually, which kind of fits the book's universal feel. We know she's a British author, and she really specializes in these sensitive, accessible children's books.
And the themes are consistent across her work. Love, family, security.
Very consistent. You can see she's mastered this clear, rhythmic style that's just perfectly tuned for very young children. She understands that for this age group, clarity is kindness. Get rid of the clutter, focus on the emotion.
And it works. Her books aren't just one-hit wonders.
Not at all. Many are international bestsellers, translated into loads of languages. That track record tells publishers and us that her approach resonates globally. Why? Because that core emotional message of the parent-child bond, it's the oldest story, the most powerful one. It translates.
It's interesting, too, how her name itself has become almost like a brand for this kind of content. You see it on gift items sometimes.
Yeah, she's synonymous with quality, warmth, that reliable emotional hit. That's a huge achievement in this market. She provides the heart, the verbal warmth.
And then Tim Warnes provides the visual engine.
Exactly. Highly experienced British illustrator, been working in children's books for more than 2 decades. His work is recognized internationally.
And you mentioned his personal context might be relevant.
Well, just briefly, he lives down in Dorset, in England, with his wife, Jane Chapman, who's also a well-known children's illustrator, and their sons.
Ah, okay. So immersed in family life and children's books, professionally and personally.
Right. And you have to think that deep well of lived experience, being a creator, being a parent, constantly seeing those small, intimate family moments feeds directly into his art. It allows him to draw those interactions between the bear and cub with such empathy and immediacy.
His unique soft style, honed over years, is just essential to making Hepworth's simple words land with such impact.
It's the necessary counterpoint. The synergy is undeniable.
Okay, we've talked creative genius, emotional appeal, but now we need to shift gears. Because the data, the numbers behind this book are truly remarkable.
Yes, if you, listening, need concrete proof that this book isn't just nice, but actually a kind of cultural necessity, whether for your own family or as a gift, the sales and reviews tell an incredible story.
Before we hit the bestseller ranks, just quickly on the physical book itself, because for babies and toddlers, how it's made is critical.
Absolutely critical. It's published by Tiger Tales, came out back in March 2015, and the main driver of its success is the board book edition, the BRDB.
Gotta be tough for little hands.
Has to be. Chewing, dropping, enthusiastic page turning. This format is designed for that. It's robust.
And the size feels right, too. Not too big, not too small.
Yeah, it's about 6.5 inches square, roughly, weighs about 9 ounces, and 28 pages feels like the perfect length for those quick focus reads we were talking about. It's designed to be a durable, functional tool for that daily ritual.
Okay, market dominance. Let's get into it. Because this isn't just a popular children's book, it's a global force.
It really is, and we need to properly contextualize these numbers because they're staggering. When we checked the latest data, I Love You to the Moon and Back was ranked number 18 overall in all books globally.
Wait, number 18. Not in children's books, but all books.
All books. Think about that. Ahead of countless adult fiction bestsellers, celebrity biographies, cookbooks, everything. To be consistently in the top 20 overall?
That's just wild for a children's board book. What does that imply?
It implies massive, continuous volume, year after year. It suggests it's not just being bought once per family. It's being bought constantly as gifts, maybe even replaced when worn out. It transcends typical publishing cycles. It's an evergreen phenomenon.
Wow. Okay, and what about within its specific categories?
Even more stunning, really. It confirms that when people search online for books related to its core themes, this is the title the algorithms consistently serve up as number one. It holds the number one spot simultaneously in 3 major categories.
3. Okay, what are they?
Number 1 in children's multi-generational family life. Number 1 in children's books on emotions and feelings. And number 1 in children's bear books.
Okay, hold on. Multi-generational family life, emotions and feelings, and bear books. That covers bonding, emotional communication, and a specific cozy aesthetic.
Precisely. It shows perfect market alignment. If you're searching for a book about family connection or feelings for kids or the gentle bear stories, the market itself is mathematically pointing you straight at this book. It has completely cornered that emotional niche online.
That's incredible market consolidation. Okay, so the sales ranks prove the volume, the necessity. What about the customer reviews, the social proof?
This is just as compelling. We're not talking about a few dozen reviews here. As of our last check, there were 78,854 customer reviews.
78,000, that's a huge sample size.
Massive. And across that incredibly diverse global audience, the book maintains an average rating of 4.9 out of 5 stars.
4.9 out of nearly 80,000 reviews. That's almost unheard of.
It's statistically incredible. It speaks volumes about the consistency of the experience. This book delivers on its promise of warmth and connection, reliably, for almost everyone who buys it.
So, what are people actually saying in those thousands of reviews? What are the common themes that drive that near-perfect rating?
Well, consistently, people praise the visual appeal. They use words like beautiful hardback pages, lovely illustrations, so Tim Warren's work clearly resonates. They also confirm it captures kids' attention effectively, even very little ones.
Does the feedback support that idea of it being part of a routine?
Oh, absolutely. Many reviews specifically mention it being read every night before bed. That's gold standard feedback for a children's book. It shows deep integration into family life. It's not just sitting on the shelf. It's being used, loved, fulfilling its purpose.
And people also mention the theme of beginning each day together, right? Reinforcing that idea of shared presence.
Yes, that came up too. It really seems to capture that framework of reliable connection.
Which leads perfectly into the gifting aspect. It sounds like it's become the definitive baby shower gift.
It really has. That comes up again and again in the reviews. Why? because it perfectly encapsulates that overwhelming, fierce, protective love a new parent feels.
It gives them the words, maybe?
It gives them the words and it gives them the ritual. When you give this book, you're not just giving an object, you're giving the potential for countless moments of connection, a piece of shared emotional language for that new family.
So bringing this all together as we wrap up, why is this book more than just a bestseller? Why argue it's a kind of cultural necessity?
Because, at its core, it taps into something profoundly human and universal. That need for emotional continuity, for ritual, for reassurance. It's this constant declaration of love designed to be repeated night after night, year after year.
It feels modern in its clean execution, but the heart is timeless.
Exactly. It's a modern classic already. It feels like it will endure for generations because that need for connection never goes away.
So here's a final thought for you, our listener, to maybe mull over. Could the phenomenal success of this book also be about stability? In a world that feels like it's changing so fast, everything accelerating, maybe the simple, unchanging, reliable love between the bear and cub offers a vital anchor.
That's a great point. It creates this predictable, sacred little space in the day. That dependability, knowing that no matter what else happens, the bear and cub will always love each other to the moon and back. Maybe that's its deepest magic. For the child needing security, and for the parent needing that moment of pure connection.
So if you are looking for that gift that genuinely creates lasting memories, something that will likely get worn soft around the edges from being read so much.
Or if you just want to bring that warmth and ritual into a child's life, this really is a definitive recommendation. You can trust the number, you can trust the reviews, and you can trust the feeling it creates.
We absolutely encourage you to check it out or maybe revisit it if it's already on your shelf. And as promised, you can find the link to purchase I Love You to the Moon and Back right there in the video description below this episode.
Thank you so much for joining us today on What's Hot in the Bookstore.
We really hope you enjoyed this look at a truly special book. Please do join us again next time as we continue exploring the titles making waves.
Absolutely. It was great talking about this one. Goodbye for now, everyone.
Farewell. We'll catch you on the next one.